My name is Dr. Judy Pickens. I ask our student speaker, I almost said I am our student speaker, but I'm not. I ask our student speaker, Brent Thomas, representing the baccalaureate nursing programs, who has earned his Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree, to please come forward.
Good morning, my name is Brent Thomas, and I'm honored to represent the traditional BSN program. It seems like yesterday that we had our lighting the lamp ceremony, and we started our nursing school journey. I laughed when they told us that we should say goodbye to our families for the next 2 years, because I thought they were kidding. They weren't kidding. My kids and my wife believe that nursing school involves sitting at the computer, reading or writing a paper constantly. One of the first things that we learned in nursing school was how to wash our hands. I can remember reading about washing hands, doing several learning modules about washing our hands, and then actually finally washing our hands. I thought to myself, nursing school is easy. I got this. Then day 2. Read 13 chapters, do 6 learning modules, all by tomorrow morning. In preparation for this speech, I went back and added up all the pages that we were supposed to read. The number I got was 3,369 pages, and that was for the first semester. I actually read every page of the assigned reading in my first semester, although my grade in nursing concepts did not show it. Something positive did come out of all this reading. I have discovered a new cure for insomnia. These books can put you right to sleep. To help illustrate to each one of to the family and friends here, to what each one of us has gone through for the past 2 years, I want to give a brief overview of my experience in nursing school. First semester, junior 1. Learn to talk to children. Learn to talk to senior citizens. Learn to talk to doctors. SBAR, anyone? Learn that a huge part of nursing is learning the language. There is an acronym for everything. Learn that every drug has 3 names and you can't pronounce any of them. Learn to write a nurse's note. Learn every aspect of a proper head-to-toe assessment. Get a big bag full of needles, syringes, catheters, and dressings, and then get told not to play with any of them outside of school. Learn to give a shot. Give your first shot to another student, and then let that student give you a shot. Then you learn some new swear words. Concept maps, care plans, and EBP. EBP stands for evidence-based practice. For us, it means papers and lots of searching articles on search engines that predate Google. Not fun. Learn to keep stepping. Learn to take tests where A, B, C, and D are all correct answers. Learn that you cannot convince your teacher that A is better than B. Adult health, second semester, junior 2. Learn to take those tests where all the answers are correct in record time. Learn that if you do not know the answer, it's probably oxygenation. Learn about all kinds of health problems that you think you might have because you've got all the symptoms. Psych. Yeehaw! Learn that you are not as crazy as you thought you were. Learn that there are some people out there who deal with some amazing challenges. Learn to show compassion and understanding. Learn how not to judge. Learn that there are crazy people everywhere. Learn not to call them crazy people. And of course, EBP. Third semester, senior 1, OB. Learn that you will never, ever, ever have a baby. It's just too scary. Then witness a birth, hold that newborn, and think to yourself, well, maybe. Not me personally. I thought, that looks hard. Pediatrics. Learn that kids are complex creatures. Learn that if you have kids, you cannot use them to determine what normal is on a test. because they might not be normal. Just kidding, kids, I love you. Learn that to be a peds nurse is a very hard thing. Learn that kids are happy and want to play, even in very difficult circumstances where they're battling insanely difficult diseases. Kids need to play. Community health. Learn everything that you studied for the first test was not actually on the first test. And the answer is population density. Learn the many unique ways to use a dental dam. Learn everything you wanted to know about STDs or STIs, as they are now called. Learn that there are some amazing people doing some amazing work for the poor among us. Learn that we can do better as a society. And of course, EBP. Final semester, Senior 2, critical care, cardiovascular, EKG, codes, oxygenation, ABGs, hemodynamics. All this boils down to perfusion, perfusion, perfusion. We celebrated as we finished our last care plan and waited anxiously to find out where we would go for our immersion. In the immersion, all that wait and anticipation, and it was over in the blink of an eye, way too fast. EBP. Take everything you learned over the past 2 years and put it into an insanely complex project, especially part 2. Leadership and management. Learn that after 4 semesters of APA, you still don't know APA. Learn to avoid the word it on any paper you write. The final semester was pretty much a blur because we couldn't believe that we'd be graduating so soon. After all the hard work and effort we put into graduating, we did it. And after all that they did to prevent it, we did it. I do have a few words for the faculty at ASU. You are amazing. You've shaped us and molded us into the nurses we are today. Notice I did not say student nurses. We can now drop that title after the NCLEX. Every teacher here has contributed to our success. We may not have always agreed or liked every class we took, but you had a positive influence in our education. Thank you. You are the reason that ASU nurses are sought after, and in this job market we hope to be sought after. Our formal education at ASU is over, but our education as nurses has just begun. We have been taught the necessary skills of a nurse, but more importantly, we have been schooled in how to lead, how to innovate, how to seek for the best practice. Where we go from here is up to us, and the future is wide open. As BSN graduates from ASU, we are ready. A few last words of advice. Be the nurse you were trained to be. Be the nurse you would want if you were lying there in that hospital bed. Keep learning, keep striving, and most importantly, keep stepping. One last personal note. I want to thank my God for His great mercy, my wife for her great love, and for my family for their support. Without them, I wouldn't be here today. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2014.